and maybe jot down a thing here and there. But now, what I'm hearing from my students is they actually take copious notes, like pages and pages of notes from the videos. And I was even talking with 4 or 5 of them after class today, and what they do is because I asked them, every time I put note on a video, do you write that down because you want to go back and look at those later? And they go, one of them actually said, yeah, I write down everything that's up there like that on the video, and then when you say stuff, I get that down as well. And she can do that because she can pause. And she can rewind and then get exactly what I wanted, or get exactly what was said, or whatever the case may be, where that doesn't happen in a normal lecture classroom situation. Exactly, and they would ask me to do that in class. They go, can you say that again? And I would try to rewind, and I still couldn't say it exactly the same way. And so the 5 that I spoke with after class today, they were very adamant about how wonderful it was to have that much control. And so let's get to after the first exam. So after the first exam, and the grades are about similar that they usually are for my first exam, because it's just the way that it is in my Math 141 class, and that's fine. They weren't bad. I think they were closer around the median than normal, or mean, but the overall they were roughly the same. And I had a comment I wanted to make sure I mentioned. All right, so this is where the little change happened. So now, before that exam, we were still trying to fill each other out what was going to happen. And afterwards, and from to today, they're doing it's essentially the same thing in class. They come into class, and I can't really get them to be quiet. To be perfectly honest with you, I can't get them to say a word. I can't get them to not say a word just so I can get something out. But I mean that in a good way, in a good sense. And they really are watching the videos and working together. So something that was not happening early on did turn out to work out okay. At the beginning of a class, though, is when I give the announcement, or I'll make a mini lecture or something like that, and I'm literally up there going, yo, yelling, da da da, and compared them to my 3-year-old. Like, this is how to get in touch with my 3-year-old to pay attention to me, and they're finally quiet now. And then I do my little announcement. It might take 10-15 minutes, and then I say it a lot. All right, so now you guys have a lot to do. Get to work, and then that's it. And it's like total chaos. It can look like total chaos, but that's where it gets loud. And they're all working on different things. It's not all the same problem or whatnot. So I think that's worked out well, because now I can go student by student, or student, a couple of students, and talk about the minute details that they may be struggling with on a one-on-one basis. As opposed to, let's just be honest, I couldn't do it before. There was no way that was going to happen. And so I can sit there and I can say, I can make sure they're on the right track, and then I can let them go, right? And I can also have one student explain. If one student understands the concept, the other one's still struggling with it, I can have that student explain it to that student, which we all know is a great way to do it anyway, and I can just leave after I make sure that everything is going on the right track. So I'm not just giving everything away to them. I guess is what I'm getting at there. And sometimes I can just say, well, you might want to look at that again, and then I'll just leave. I'll just walk on to the next student because somebody's admittedly got their hand up or whatnot. And so, and then when I come back, they're like, duh. All right. So I really like the atmosphere of the class this way. And the biggest issue I've found, and I'll show you some of the videos here in a second and how they're uploaded and whatnot, but they have access that's whenever it's convenient for them, and I think that's probably one of the bigger pros for all of this. As the aforementioned pause, rewind, and even watch again at a later date. I've got one student I know, she's like, I go get my dinner, and then I go straight to my bedroom, and I'm watching videos while I eat dinner. And she does that for the week. And then, a couple days before the exam, she starts watching videos again before the exam. And before the first exam, she didn't do that. And we had a little chat, and she found time to do that. And after in exam 2, things got really a lot better for her. She did an incredible improvement. So and another benefit that I didn't even think about until I was in the middle of it was that since they have control over what they watch, they don't have to watch everything. There may be something that they're familiar with already, or that they grasp pretty quick with the first example. They don't need to sit there and watch the next 2 or 3 examples that I have. Whereas in the classroom, they didn't have a choice, right? I had to make sure that, because there was somebody in class that didn't understand that, so I have to go through, okay? And so that was a side benefit, I thought. That, oh, that's cool, so you already know that material, fine, don't watch it, that's cool, you already know it. So it's just, I thought that was, I still think that's just really, really nice for them to have that much control. Or we've all got the students that would like to sit in the same class 4 times in a row, so they can, you know, get the same concepts 4 times in a row, and now they can watch the videos 4 times in a row, if they need be, right? So again, I thought that was quite nice. And so yeah, the format has changed in my classroom than what it has been for the last 18 years. But I really haven't heard any. Nobody's really complained about it. The only complaint I've heard so far was I wish you know we had more time in class, because time runs out pretty